What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. Hopefully you guys are having a good day today. Today's video, we're going to be talking about how Plarium has seemingly tried to give us every single event under the sun to maximize your stress and try to distract you from the fusion event that's at hand. It's absolutely insane. A little bit from everywhere across the game, and there's a ton of events going on right now. So let's first jump into some of the juicy stuff here in case you guys missed it. All right, guys, so first things first, tomorrow, Tuesday, July 8th, they are doing an extra legendary event for Ancient Shards. So if you pull legendary from this Ancient Shard, the blue shard, you will be getting a extra legendary. There's no boosted rates or anything like that, so it's still going to be 0.5% chance of pulling a legendary. These are good events if you know you haven't pulled a legendary in a long time and you're close to your Mercy pull. Then you're going to get an extra legendary for pulling relatively few shards. Now, that's the goal, of course. You have to keep in mind that you also have a fusion event that you have to deal with. There is a champion chase coming up on Friday. Now, that champion chase is probably going to line up with a 2x Sacred Shard event, which is not the best. Sacred Shards generally are about 270 points roughly for a 2x event during a champion chase. So you can kind of do the average math for how much shards you need in terms of the overall points. Now, I did talk about how the chase on this Friday will have some additional things that will help you finish it. For example, the fragments here, you can pull some of the epics. The epics are worth 350 points each towards champion chase. So that's going to help you out there. So maybe you can spare some blue shards for this extra legendary event starting tomorrow. I would say generally, if you're within 100 shards of your Mercy, you should probably pull so that you get 2 legendaries for 100 shards, which I think is slightly above average in terms of what you get, even if you pull during a 2x event. Or you can save the Ancients for a better event down the line or the champion chase on Friday. Now, Plarium has also put out a progressive event that's also starting at the same time as this extra legendary event from Ancient Shards tomorrow. So Tuesday, July 8th, they're launching a progressive event, giving you a 15% X chance, 15x chance, not 15% chance of summoning the champions of your choice from the selected pool below. Now, there's going to be 2 separate progressive events. We got 2 days worth. Each one of these is going to be 24 hours here. We'll go over the champions here real quick. So on day 1, we got Snick Tracks here from the Skinwalkers. Snick Track brings decreased speed, ally protection, reflect, and leech. He's actually a pretty good champion, as well as shields. I think attack down as well. Decrease attack, yes, on his A1. He's a pretty good champion, looks awesome. I used him in my first Chimera team when Chimera was first introduced. And I was testing him in the test server. He was pretty solid. Just generally a pretty good champion everywhere. So he's going to be up for grabs on day 1. And then we have a Kyoku, sorry, from the Shadowkin here. He has a pretty neat passive here. It's kind of like Seeker, where if she gets hit with a crit, you give the whole team increased defense. And then she also has a heal similar to like Vogoth. She can be a pretty strong protector. She places ally protection and block damage on herself, decrease attack here as well. And then she has a weaken on her A1. She's okay. She can play maybe even in go second teams, especially in the beginning. And she can be pretty solid in a place like Clan Boss. So she's going to be on day 1 as well. We also have Strategos Island from the High Elves. So Strategos here was a past fusion. He's actually pretty solid. He didn't get a lot of love during the fusion, but I actually ended up using Strategos quite a bit for my first Hydra teams. He has an A1 provoke. He has AoE decreased speed, which can be helpful for Hydra, of course. And then he has increased defense, ally protection. And you can build him with resistance because he self-buffs himself. So he's going to get some extra buffs. And then if you build him with resistance, the Head of Mischief will target him and he will resist all that. He's also pretty tanky here with his passive as well. He also has synergies with Feyna if you're going for some Feyna shenanigans. And he's one of the better champions you can pair her up with. So he's going to be up for grabs as well on day 1. And then as for the non-voids, we continue with Gaeth here. I did do a showcase on Gaeth just to test her out. She is a defense-based damage dealer, I believe. Her damage is going to be based off of how many buffs she has on her. She also has a 3-turn increased duration, which is very useful. Overall, her damage is not very good. I gave her basically my gear from my Taras to her, and her damage was much lower. I know Taras hits like, you know, super truck. He's like the ceiling, but Gaeth was definitely not very impressive, or even a fraction of his damage. But of course, she brings tons of other utility, right? She brings the increased duration on the buffs. She brings a ton of buffs herself. And she can do some self-buffing, and then you can build her out with the mischief protection from with resistance to protect from mischief. So that could work as well. And lastly, for day one, we have Kira the Watcher. Kira the Watcher from the Dwarves faction here. She's okay. She's kind of average. She can help you in clan boss early on and all that. Increased defense, ally protection on a 3-turn cooldown. Very standard ability, very good ability. AoE decrease accuracy. And then he has A1 decrease attack. Again, very good for some place like Clan Boss. Of course, she's going to be a piece in the Mikage puzzle. So you're probably going to end up using her for that. But otherwise, she's not too bad if you pull her early. Generally, a pretty lackluster non-void bucket for day one. As for the voids, they get a little bit better here. So we got Neve, Spear of Nyrisa, Sylvan Watcher. I have this champion, and she is absolutely amazing. I love her. She's one of the best, I would say, go second champions that I have personally. I don't have many, but she makes it viable, right? She has a passive here that places block damage on your whole team at the start of the turn. So she makes it, definitely more viable if you, lose the speed race in the beginning. Personally, I have her in a 9-piece protection set. She works pretty good. Her A2 can hit pretty hard, but it's situational because they have to be under 50%. And then the shield is massive if you have the right target for it. Her heal's very nice, block debuffs as well, ally protection. The big thing about her is that she can be locked out and then you're kind of just stuck using the A1. And, she kind of suffers from block buffs. Obviously, if someone lands block buffs on your whole team, her passive's not going to work. And then, she's not going to be able to place too many buffs herself. But yeah, she can be super annoying in the right team or the right setup or against the right team. Mainly because if you give her a little bit of healing, she can always bounce back over 50%. And then once she goes under 50% again, she can put the block damage back up again. Very interesting champion. I really like using her. She's tricky. Not a lot of people know how to play against her right now. And she's a very new champion. So she's going to be up for grab for the voids. There's no boost on voids or anything. So I'm surprised these champions aren't like even sweeter to sweeten the pot here. Up next, we have Necrit from the Night Revs. Necrit here with Necrit. Sorry, Necrit is the undead. Necrit is undead. Sometimes, yeah, I was like, oh, I look at his armor, I'm like thinking Night Rev, but he's actually straight up undead. I mean, he's still a really good champion. People are really down on this guy for a long time because of the whole shield meta and Narcissus blowing up shield champions and all that. Narcissus really counters this guy super, super hard because of all the shields. He places a shield before the round starts on your lowest HP champion. And then obviously he can play shields. He can do ally attack. He can do decrease attack. Good base stats overall. Very, very, very strong champion in most areas of the game. He's good against bombs too. Like you just put big shields, good against bombs. So anything but Narcissus, this guy is pretty good. And then lastly for day one, we have this guy, Krisk. Krisk is, I think, going to get a little bit of a value surge here. Initially, Krisk would have been like S+ for many, many years, especially at the start of the game. But then he started to tail off a little bit, considering that Clan Boss wasn't that important anymore. And, the focus started shifting away from Clan Boss and towards other areas of the game. In Arena, he's a little lackluster in Arena. For Hydra, he's still very good. He covers a lot of stuff, right? Decreased speed, decreased attack, covers provoke, decreased defense. He covers a lot of stuff in his kit. He has everything. But I think he's going to get a value surge because of the new fusion with Titus. Titus benefits off of shield. He starts with the shield set, and he brings a lot of pieces to the puzzle for all of the boss content like Hydra and Chimera and stuff. So Krisk probably going to be seeing a little bit of a value surge with Titus. Great champion overall. One of the most, powerful champions you can get, especially early on for any account. And he'll be up for grabs on day one. So there we go. On day two, let's quickly take a look at that. We have Mishinaki. Mishinaki from the Shadowkins. Very, very good champion here. He does kind of everything. A1 HP burn, AoE decrease defense, decrease attack, and then AoE hex with the strip on the A2. Passive A1 damage from his passive. Good base stats overall. He's a damage dealer that brings a ton of utility. Now, I will say that Mishinaki kind of falls off in the highest areas of Hydra damage. That's going to be the best spot for him, but he's obviously still going to be very good in a lot of areas, faction wars, any wave-based content. Even some arena, he can be okay. He does have the strip here as well, and he hits decently hard. But his main role is probably going to be Hydra. And probably in the late stages, he's probably going to end up just being a utility champion with a decreased attack, decreased defense, and pitch in a bit of damage. That's about it. But overall, this guy does so much, and he brings good damage to Hydra as well. So he's going to be up for grabs on day 2. And then we have Under Priest Brogni. This guy's going to see a bit of value surge as well. After the Titus fusion, he's one of the 2 shield growing champions that are viable with Titus. So Titus benefits from big shields, and Brogni is one of the champions that can make the shields grow big with this A2 here. Brogni requires big DPS to make this ability really do a lot of work. So for him, he's an attack-based damage dealer. This skill is based off of attack, and you can see here his attack is 782. It's horrible. So he needs insane stats for this ability to do good damage. If it doesn't do good damage, then you won't be doing a lot of shield growing. But even if you don't use him with Titus, he's still a very good champion, especially for faction wars. Brings the block buffs with shields, and the shield provided a little bit of healing as well, which is really nice. He was one of the most difficult fusions when he was first launched, and one of the best fusions at that time. Nowadays, not crazy anymore, especially since his best role was against clan boss, and nowadays clan boss can be handled in many different ways. But yeah, still a very special champion, and a great champion early on for a pickup. After that, we have Artak. Artak's going to be in day 2, was a free login champion back in the day. Artak here, very good against Ice Golem. He has the AoE HP burn activation, and then he has an extender on his A1. You can use them for Spider activation. You can use them for Hydra for early game damage. I mean, just anywhere HP burn is going to be good. Anywhere HP burn and HP burn detonation. But yeah, he's a great champion. He can even campaign farm for you if you need him to. He's all AoEs, right? A1 AoE. All his abilities are AoE. Can be decent for like campaign farming as well. Probably in the running for the best free login of all time. If not, he's going to be in the top 5 conversation, I think, basically for 99% of people. Let me know in the comments below if you disagree that Artak is a top 5 free login champion of all time. I think he's going to be in that conversation for 99% of people. Some people might argue that he is the best one, but I don't think so. Personally, I have some other champions higher than Artak, but he's definitely up there. Very strong champion. Next up, after Artak on day 2, we have Sisia Flametongue. She's a demon spawn. She's actually really cool. I have her. I started using her recently. She brings AoE HP burn. And then she brings decreased defense and weaken, which is very cool, but it is kind of conditional. She is a force affinity as well, so there's a chance to weak hit and all that. And then of course getting 3%ed, and then you don't land that stuff. Her base stats are also very bad, so it's very hard to keep her alive. But if you're just gonna use her for like spider activation, HP burn activation, for example, you don't even need her to be like geared out properly. You know what I mean? So you can still find a lot of uses for her. I think Hydra, she still has a pretty good spot there. AoE HP burn with AoE decreased defense and weaken as well. But yeah, she's a little bit squishy if you don't have the right team to support her. So after her, we have Tomb Lord Drang, another old fusion from back in the day. He's going to be available on day 2. He's a solid champion. He's got good base stats. He's easy to build. He doesn't require accuracy to land his HP burn. His HP burn is here. It's irresistible, which is really good. That's kind of the best thing about him, is that he has this irresistible HP burn, and it's always going to be useful. It's always going to be useful in some content. And the fact that it doesn't require accuracy, it just makes it so much easier to use this guy. HP burn and an activator, and then he has a heal on his A3. Good base stats to keep him alive. I think he's like pretty beginner friendly champion to build out and use. It's just solid, and will be available on day 2. Okay, so that's the non-void. So with the voids, we got some pretty nice champions here as well. We got Sulfurion. I have Sulfurion on both my accounts. He is an absolute stud muffin. AoE HP burns, got detonation. He has healing that triggers from the HP burn, gives you turn meter as well. Team-wide revive as well. Also gives you a little bit of shields. Good base speed. Very good champion overall. Does a lot, and he can be used in a lot of content. Boss fights, he can be used in Hydra, Chimera, if you have the right team to support him. Personally, I use him a lot in Arena with the Incinerate blessing to go through Stone Skin. But yeah, he will be up for grabs on day 2. And then we have Reho Bone Spear, the original Void guarantee champion. She was the first guarantee champion back in the day. I believe she was only 90 Void shards back in the day. And that's how I got my Reho Bone Spear. She was really, really cool, especially with the focus was on Clan Boss back in the day. She brings so much to Clan Boss fight. She brings decreased attack, decreased defense, decrease and weaken, an HP burn, as well as from some damage for the Clan Boss. And then she brings a cleanse, you know, obviously very good if you want to make an Affinity Clan Boss team. Yeah, she was really, really good. Her passive allows her to play against like Hegemon, like CC Hegemons and stuff like that. It's also, you kind of find some use for this in a lot of different areas as well. It seems to pop up here and there. But yeah, cool champ, looks awesome. Base stats are a little bit underwhelming just because, yeah, she doesn't have very high HP for a support champion. But yeah, very cool champion. I still think she's one of the better Void guarantees that was ever offered. She will be up for grabs on day 2. And lastly, we have Tunisia from the Skinwalkers here. So Tunisia actually is a fine champion. She brings AoE HP burns with a stun on a 3-turn cooldown. Brings a big smack here with a Termir drop, and she brings A1 decreased defense. She's supposed to be a damage dealer, but honestly, her best role is just to empower Marius. But she's definitely a viable, serviceable champion if you have her early on in your account. By no means terrible, by no means terrible. And she'll be available on day 2. So we have this progressive event happening at the same time as the 1+1 ancient event, that is also happening at the same time as this Infernal Deck of Fate, guys. This is the crazy part. There's so much stuff happening. There's an Infernal Deck of Fate, and I want to give a couple comments about this Infernal Deck of Fate. So quickly going over this Deck of Fate, we have a bunch of rewards here. You get Greyco's Turn Drake as the reward fragment champion if you collect 100 of him in this event. There's no pinning of rarities or anything like that, so you're not going to get additional value from the big rarities chest. This is going to be dungeon diving and soulstone. So if you look here, the soulstone values are a little bit lower than usual. Usually they're about 4,500 for the big stone, 900, and then 90 for the little one. This one, they reduced it slightly. It's not the lowest it's ever been. The lowest, I believe, was during the Freya Deck of Fate, which was 3,000 for the big stone, and then I believe it was 600 and then 60. That was just damn brutal, that Freya Deck of Fate. Now this one is pretty brutal as well because they only give you the option of the soul stones and then a dungeon diver component. Now the dungeon diver component, generally when I look at this, I just attribute a value between the 5-star epic and the 6-star rare. So 18 points for a 6-star rare, and then 5-star epic is 14. So I attribute 16 points per one run. So per basically 20 energy, you get 16 energy back, which means you're getting roughly about 0.8 points per energy spent. So this is pretty easy to extrapolate from, you know, what you need. You need 40,000 points to finish the whole deck. You know, that's probably the most likely scenario. I believe the math behind it is that most people are going to take 39 or 40 cards. Very small percentage take less than that. So, you know, just keep that in mind. But if you're going to spend, you know, the whole shebang on the whole deck, it's going to cost you about 50,000 energy just for, like, you know, doing dungeon diving over 4 days. So yeah, it's pretty heavy price, and they're not helping you too much with the alternative, right? Your alternative is pulling soul stones. Now, is Greyco's Turn Drake worth it? Honestly, I'm like one of the few content creators I feel like that actually like this guy. I think he's solid. I think he brings a good amount of stuff for this faction that it doesn't really have. That's the thing, right? It doesn't really have. He was kind of marketed as like a damage dealer. He does have some, you know, damage stuff in his kit. Like he has extra crit damage, for example. He has ignore defense here. He has ignore defense there. It's conditional ignore defense on his A2, and it's, you know, it's his A1 ignore defense. But you know what? For me, like, I feel like he's more of a just like a debuffer that pitches in a little bit of damage, because he brings AoE decreased defense with the block buff, which is really, really strong for this faction because they don't have actually that many AoE decreased defense champions. And I was thinking, okay, I could use this guy, you know, to get through hard faction wars a lot easier. And also, like, you know, this is just an upgrade for any team that uses Ugo that I have. So he was just slot in right there. Not to mention that he brings a 3-turn AoE block damage. Like, this can definitely find some value somewhere along the line. Like, maybe not right away, but definitely it is special enough that it should find some value somewhere. There's only one champion in the game that has this, I believe, and it's the Mytha. And also, let's not forget his passive that has value as well, basically giving your team an additional 10% damage. So I think this guy actually does have some value, and he's better than it looks. But I think if you're expecting him to deal a lot of damage for you, then that's not going to happen. So personally speaking, I was kind of against pulling my big soul stones here. I have 5, which is like basically the most I've ever had. But I think I'm probably going to throw these in and then finish off the deck of fate with some gems. Just because like I was thinking about this, and I feel like the champion, he's special enough that if I never got him ever again, maybe I would never have like an AoE decreased defense for demon spawn, right? Or maybe the block damage becomes very important at some point, and I don't have this champion. I have no way of farming Greyco's Turn Drake again. But all of these resources that are used to get him, they can be farmed, right? Like the big stones can be farmed, blessing can be farmed, gems can be farmed, or whatever, energy can be farmed. I was hoping to save the big stones for a boosted event so I can get a 50-50 shot at the 6-star. So I am losing like, some pull rate percentage here. But like I said, the stones and blessings can be farmed, but the champion can't. So I was kind of really weighing it, whether I would miss the champion or not. And I feel like he would improve, at the very least, immediately, he would improve my Faction Wars hard stages, and he would improve any Cintrano's stage that he's in. He is an HP based damage dealer, and there's not a lot of friendly HP based stages like champions allowed in some stages in Cintrano. So if he was part of a Cintrano stage, he would be an absolute massive champion, right? He has AoE decreased defense, and then he has protection for your whole team as well. So I think it warrants enough for me to try to go for this guy. I think I can get him. It's just whether I want to pull this the big stones or not, and I think I'm probably going to do it. Also, this Greyco's Turn Drake Deck of Fate is completely optional, so it's not even part of anything. It's completely optional kind of event that's happening right now, just like the 1+1 extra legendary event, right? So Plarium's just throwing events at you on top of this ongoing fusion. And then 9 hours from now, there is the second summon rush for the fusion event. Now, the good thing here is that Plarium did sync up the extra legendary event from the ancient shards with the summon rush for the fusion. So that's actually a really good thing. So you'll be, if you were participating in the 1+1 extra legendary ancient shard event, you'll be pulling ancient shards and getting points towards the summon rush event. Now, this complicates things a little bit because if you were planning to full skip the second summon rush, now you are contributing points to it by pulling ancient shards. Although ancient shards for summon rush events probably is not going to be worth a lot, it's still kind of a way for Plarium to get people to participate in an event that they might not have otherwise, right? But for me, I skipped the first summon rush and I was going to go, take a look at the second summon rush. And right now that feels like such a good decision to make because of the extra legendary ancient event tied in with the summon rush that's happening. So we're going to get some double dip value there. We can also spend sacred shards afterwards as well. But we want to see what the total point total is for that second summon rush. Maybe it's going to be super expensive. Who knows? Ooh-wee. So we got an extra ancient legendary summon event. We got a Deck of Fate that's running Dungeon Divers. And then we got another summon rush here for the fusion. We also have a bunch of dungeon tournaments that are totally not related to the fusion happening as well. We have a Fire Knight Turn Attack for a Prism event that's also happening right now, which is absolutely insane. Keep in mind that you can basically save your Prism pulls for a champion chase on the weekend if you want to do that as well. And there's also a Gear Ascension tournament, again, not part of the fusion or anything like that. So you have multiple tournaments that are not part of the fusion happening at the same time. You also have fusion tournaments happening at the same time. You have a guaranteed champion Deck of Fate happening. You have a extra legendary event happening, and then you have a Prism Shard event happening as well. So here is the active Prism Shard pool right here. It's actually a pretty good one. There's actually some pretty good champions here. There's not really anyone that is that bad. Maybe Korgar would be the worst one. Maybe Tholin, if you just went for him, you don't need a double. But all of these champions, if you pull them, they're going to be really, really good. Depends on where you are on your account. Like even for me, I'm looking at this list and I'm like, okay, I could use, I wouldn't mind a Saharis, or that's pretty good champion. Like Freya's a great champion. Glaciate I would love. I think Glaciate would be the one that I would, if I had to pick one, it would be Glaciate, and it wouldn't be close. Like it would be long shot Glaciate, because I have most of the other champions and they're all very good. And obviously the craziest one that people would probably want, and if they don't have it, it's probably going to be Wixwell, right? Because Wixwell lines up really, really well with Titus. Now the epics also look very solid as well. You got some pieces here from Akage like Isabel. You have Geomancer here, which is really good. You have Neldor, which is good for Fire Knight Hard. You have Daithi, which is a really, really strong Sylvan Watcher DPS. Yeah, so you have some really good options here for the epics as well. But in terms of just the legendaries, very, very strong group of legendaries here. Now, if you just needed one from this group, it's actually not that easy to get because there's 12 of them. So it's a 1 in 12 shot if you pull a legendary, which is roughly like 8% chance, right? So you're getting roughly like a progressive boost. It's a bit higher than a 15x progressive boost for one champion, but it's not much higher than a 15x. So that's kind of what you're working with for the Prism Shard system. But if you're okay with multiples of these, then that's a pretty good hit, right? It's pretty good. Anyways, so we got that going on as well. And like I said, you can connect that with the champion chase for some points as well. Man, there is so much stuff going on. It's absolutely insane. And Plarium is just, I don't know what they're doing. I think they're probably just trying to, confuse people so they get off track on the fusion. There's a lot of things going on right now that require basically the same things. Like you can see Fire Knight, Ice Golem, they both require energy. They're going to end at the same time. So it's a big energy sink there. And then this for Dungeon Diver. I mean, this is a skip, right? For most people, this is just not viable. It's just way too heavy in terms of energy. If you don't have the soul stones, it's going to be way too expensive. But I really do like that the summon rush, at least for myself personally, because I skipped the first summon rush. This second summon rush, they're really, really rewarding people that skip the first summon rush. Because like I said, you get the extra legendary event that's happening. And there is kind of like a crappy progressive boost on it. Like all the non-legendaries on this list on both days are kind of crappy-ish. I would probably go for, I'm not too sure which one I'd go for. I'd probably think about going for ones that line up for the Faction Guardians and then just try to hit it there. But, they don't need to give a great progressive for the Summon Rush because people will probably just be pulling for the extra legendary anyways. But yeah. It's a lot of stuff to take in. Hopefully you guys are all caught up with everything now. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think about all these events. Which ones are you guys participating in? Are you guys excited for any of these? Are you guys what are you guys least excited about? I would say most people are least excited about Greycoast, but I think he's a solid champion, and I think if I can get him, I will try my best. And I think people are most excited about this extra legendary event just because it's always fun to pull 2 legendaries for the price of 1. And you know what, maybe it's time to jump into this prism pool as well. So you can kind of see here for me, I've been stocking up my prism crystals for a long time. A lot of people have been asking me how I've been able to stock this up. Basically, I never open this summon pool tab. If I click the summon pool tab, one of this red dot would basically go to my inbox and it'll be a champion from I don't even know, way back when, a couple months ago. And then immediately my crystals will flow into whatever pool is active, or this tab will disappear and then it will flow into the pool that's active next time. Now, the way that I've been advised to do this is basically unplug this red dot immediately after a pool starts. During that time, then the shards that I have here will flow into that current pool instead. I have never tried this myself, but I was just thinking to save enough so that I can go into Mercy or like, I don't know, a cool champion or a cool headline champion or something. But it's just kind of like a little project I have on the side. I want to try it out, but want to find the right pool before I do so. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it for the video. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think about all of these events. I thought it was a bit of a one-off that Plarium was giving us so much events during the Titan event, but it seems like it is maybe the new norm. Now that they're just flooding us with events. It's a good and bad thing, but definitely maintain your focus. If you're going for the fusion, best of luck. Focus on the fusion as always, and don't let this extra fluff events get in your way. So anyways, guys, that's going to be it for the video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.